All right. So this is an update with my social skills progress. And for a little context, is I'm going to college in the fall, which is like 2, 3 weeks. And there's gonna be a lot of people that who are looking for friends in those first couple of days. And I gotta be the most social as I can those first couple of days because that's the best time to make friends. So I'm gonna be talking to everyone, right? So this whole summer I've been trying to commit to practicing social skills as much as possible, and I've been making a lot of progress. So the way I started out was I actually just moved into a new town. So I'm in a new town, and I hosted a party. I posted a video on the Facebook group of the town and of the neighborhood, and then a bunch of kids came. So I had 15 kids from the neighborhood come over. I made friends with them, and then of those 15 that came, there were a few who were my age, and we started hanging out multiple times a week. We I did another party at the pool, the neighborhood pool, and then we started just hanging out, just going to each other's houses and stuff, doing stuff, boxing, whatever. And then now I am in Florida, right? And in Florida, I have some friends in Florida. And oh yeah, so I'm visiting Florida, visiting my grandparents, right? And then in Florida, I have some friends here, so I was hanging out with them. And this is what I'm going to talk. This part, hanging out with them is what I'm going to talk about, right? And I'm realizing like when it comes to social skills, when you're like low level, like I am, like from like playing video games and not having a lot of experience, it's like the thing that you need to get is social calibration. And this is what I like. This is what I like to call it because my brother he calls me a robot because I act like an NPC, right, in social interactions, right? But it's like you need to get socially calibrated, and that means just getting as much experience as you can talking to people and hanging out, because the more you do that, the more you'll get accustomed to to just the flow of it, right? To figure out what's going on, things like that. So to give you an example, right? There was a time that I hung out with my friends in my town, and there was a time this week when I was hanging out with my friends in Florida, right? And when I was hanging out the first time in the town, which was like 2 weeks ago, I was hanging out with a girl and my brother, and and honestly I was like very awkward, right? I didn't really know what to talk about. We were going into shops, like we went to an antique shop, and we were going into just walking around through town, really, right, exploring. And I was just kind of awkward. I didn't really know what to say or do or whatever. And my brother and the girl, they were a little bit better, but me, I was just like I didn't really know what to do. Come now to today, right, or yesterday actually, and I'm in Florida, and it's like the same thing. I'm hanging out with my brother, a girl, and a boy, or a brother and a sister, and then we're hanging out in town and stuff like that, going doing things, and I'm still a bit awkward, right? But I'm kind of doing a little bit better this time. I'm kind of making more jokes, and by the time like the day was over, like we were all laughing together. You know what I mean? Like when they picked us up, the brother and the sister, we were kind of quiet. We haven't seen each other in like a year, and we weren't really talking too much. But as the time went on, we did a bunch of games and activities, and then we just started to enjoy each other's company more, and we were laughing and having fun, right? So I think to get to that point earlier, like where we're all like comfortable, I think obviously it might just take time, or like if I'm more charismatic, then that would happen earlier. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What I do know is that I just gotta keep focusing on getting experience, because the more experience I have, like hanging out with people and just hanging out, right, the more socially calibrated I'll get, which means like I know what to do, like kind of like an AI, right? Like an AI, like an AI, like it's an artificial intelligence, and then you give it a bunch of stuff, and it learns from that, right? And then it recognizes the patterns, right? So you give the AI a bunch of pictures, and then it looks at the pictures and sees all the patterns, and now it can make its own pictures based on all those pictures that it has. So the more experience I get hanging out with people and making jokes and stuff like that, the better I'll get at it. And when I'm hanging out with the people in the future, I'll just be funnier, quicker, wittier, whatever, and then we'll have an even greater time. So yeah, it's just put in that work, man, honestly. And put in that work, hanging out with people, invite people out. Like you just gotta get as much practice as possible, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. So when I get back from Florida, my brother's friend is coming from where we used to live, so he's flying over to our house, and we're gonna hang out with the people in the neighborhood, right? So I'm gonna have 2 more weeks of just more social grinding, pretty much social XP grinding. And my brother, he just calls me cringe for this, for talking about this and saying that I'm trying to improve. But honestly, that's just the way I work, man. I'm just thinking about it like a video game. But yeah, get that experience in, for real.